Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. I am Adam, and in today's video, we are going to give you a review of the Honda Africa Twin DCT. If you're new to my channel, it's primarily a motorsports channel. We are everything on-road when it comes to American V-twin baggers and touring the country and the biggest rallies and parties. Off-road, we've done things like the Trans-America Trail, which I personally did on this bike. It's coast to coast across America, off-road or as much as you can. And of course my campground, the K River Campground, and all the fun people we have here at the camp. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you are into any of those things, please take the time, go down and hit that subscribe button. It helps us a lot in making videos like this one and the simple fun adventure videos. Another thing you'll find on our channel is a lot of patriotism. This is another reason to click that subscribe button, guys. We do a lot of work with veterans and charities, first responders, everything of the sort. So please, if you're in any of those, this is your channel and you found us. So this review has been long coming. Y'all have been asking for it, and unfortunately, I think this weekend is going to be my last weekend riding the Africa Twin. That's right, I'm taking it on the Sooner Adventure. It is a big off-road dual sport adventure ride happening outside of Oklahoma City. This review is not going to be a technical review. I'm not going to be giving you the stats. You can get those online anywhere. There's 100 sites out there providing those. I am going to give you my personal experience, my personal opinion after taking this motorcycle across the country off-road. Let's start with the size. It is a pretty big bike. I am 220, 230 pounds depending on the day, and I felt like the bike fit me pretty good. It's certainly a lot bigger than some of the smaller dual sport or smaller adventure bikes. I would say this is lower side of the heavyweight division when it comes to adventure motorcycles. The way that works for me is it was really comfortable when I had to do those long stretches. When I got into the very technical stuff, it was a little bit heavy. So if you're gonna be doing a lot of cross-country riding and a lot of living off the motorcycle, I think it's a great bike for that. If you're looking to get on a lot of single track or a lot of off-road stuff, that's probably where it doesn't do as good as maybe a middleweight motorcycle, but certainly does it better than most of the heavyweight motorcycles. When it comes to the motorcycle suspension, I'm gonna say, I don't think I ever bottomed out that rear end. I may have bottomed it out once or twice, but not that I can remember, nothing substantial. And I do have quite a bit of gear back here. I had another couple big bags. I've got the roto packs down there. I've got the full Outback Motortech crash guard system for the front and back. It's got some weight on it, I guess is my point. And I never really felt a problem with the rear suspension. It felt great on a highway and also in an extreme off-road. Now this front suspension is another story. I found the front suspension to be a little bit soft and a little bit cushy. It was great going down the gravel roads and across the highways, but when I got into the extreme stuff, like Engineers Pass or a lot of the really rocky stuff, this thing gave me a problem. It was soft, it was bottoming out, it was heavy. I found myself having to sit further back on the bike than I would have liked to, just to try to keep that front end light. So I would say that front suspension, definitely not as good as that back suspension. Okay, let's talk tires and wheel. The tires on this thing are absolute. I mean it, I hate them, I didn't like them. It was one of the first things I replaced because, well, I mean, if you're gonna ride on the street, maybe they're nice, but if you plan on doing any off-roading, changing those tires are one of the first things you're gonna wanna do. And of course I did that. These are not the stock tires. They came off immediately, along with that front fender that comes on the bike. You see, I've got that new front fender there. It's kind of a high clearance fender from Alt Rider and gives it more of a dirt bike feel, and you don't have to worry about dirt and mud and debris getting caught between the fender and the wheel, because the original setup is a fender right over the front tire, and it's not good. So the wheels and this front fender, two things that I think are also not good when it comes to the Honda. So really, kind of that whole front end. Another thing I don't like are the spoked wheels. I prefer a mag. These have to have tubes in them, tubes break, and then you find yourself alongside the road changing a tire out on the trail. And although, you know, it's quite the accomplishment, it isn't fun and nothing I'd recommend. And mags, you can plug a tire then, you know, it's tubeless. You can get a tubeless system for these too, I guess, but point is, they got them with tubes, and I don't like the tubes. This brings us to probably one of the most talked about things about this Africa Twin, and that's that DCT, the automatic transmission. You just go between drive and sport. Definitely some advantages and disadvantages with this setup. First of all, great for filming because you never have to clutch, which means I've got my left hand to hold cameras and do whatever I want to do no matter where I am. It allowed me to get some really cool shots. Another thing that's nice is it's just simple. No shifting, you don't have to think about it. It's almost like cheating. I heard someone else say that and I just got to agree. 99% of the time it was in the right gear and it was giving the power exactly where I wanted it, up the hills, in all the terrains. I didn't feel compromised on any hill climbing. Now sometimes there's advantage to feathering a clutch and to having a clutch, and those are times like, oh, let's say you grab too much throttle, you give it a little whiskey throttle. Knowing you can just use that left hand to disengage the clutch and kill that power immediately is a wonderful thing. My first time going down on this motorcycle was because I went to pull a clutch that wasn't there and it had gas and it just took off across the road and landed me in the ditch. So that's the biggest disadvantage to this automatic, and you're gonna see it with a lot of the electric bikes too. There's no clutch. This is just a parking brake, right? This is your front brake and then your rear brake's down there, obviously. So there's no killing that power with that clutch, no slipping the clutch or feathering the clutch up a hill. You know, it's just power or no power. It's a bit of a disadvantage in that form. But you want my opinion. Is it a good system? Is it a system I would use again? The answer is yes. If I were to buy another Africa Twin, I would definitely get the DCT. It wouldn't even be a discussion. I didn't want it when I first bought the bike, and now I'm happy I had it. It's a pretty good system, man. I mean, the amount of times that it's not doing what you want it to do are just non-existent. It's just is not an issue for all the ways it makes life so much easier for you. The couple little drawbacks are well worth it, in my opinion. The last thing I'm gonna say is parts. One thing I loved about the Africa Twin is I could get all these cool parts. The headlight guards, the lifted fender, the great crash guards and bash plate from Outback, the cool luggage setups from Moscow, the handlebar risers, and just the mirrors. It's just lots of options for parts for this motorcycle. And after all, whether you're playing in the dirt or on the street, customizing that bike, making it yours is half the fun. I had fun building this bike. I'm gonna be sad to let it go. I really do enjoy it. I just don't think cross-country off-road is going to be a big piece of my future. I need to keep my garage full of toys that I'm actually gonna use and make videos with. So for that reason, the beautiful Africa Twin must go. I will probably replace it with something lighter and smaller that I can use, you know, to trailer out and just rip off-road and trailer back. You know, maybe still street legal, but just not a heavyweight. I might get into the lower end of the light heavyweights. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna get. If y'all have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments below. Realistically, I said I was gonna sell this thing when I bought my Can-Am because I said, well, I couldn't justify the Can-Am. So I said, I'm gonna get rid of the dirt bike because I'm gonna do more Can-Am stuff than I'm gonna do cross-country dirt bike stuff. But now even just riding it today, it's got me thinking, I really do love riding two wheels in the dirt too, so we'll see what happens there. Nonetheless, beautiful bike, love the bike. Front suspension, tires, rims, front fender, garbage. DCT, good, and fun level through the roof. Listen, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is something I've always dreamt of doing. I knew nothing about. I just got on the bike on my first off-road trip and tackled the most difficult, or at least the longest off-road trail in America with zero experience. I had a ton of fun. This bike performed great for me, and I think it's a good choice. I would recommend it to y'all. Y'all do the same thing, man. Find a dream. Even if you don't have any experience and you gotta jump off the ledge of a cliff, take the jump, have the faith in yourself and your ability, and go out there and live a little. Until the next video, I will see y'all later, and remember, no matter what your dream is, you be sure to stay stubborn.